Hey mama, take a deep breath with. If you're in your second trimester and feeling better one moment, overwhelmed the next, and wondering if any of this is normal, this video is for. Pregnancy doesn't come with a manual, and you don't have to have everything figured out right now. In today's video, I'm sharing honest, real-life things I've learned, the helpful, the weird, and the reassuring parts, so you can feel a little more prepared and a lot less alone. If this kind of calm, real pregnancy talk helps you, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because we talk about pregnancy here every single day. You're doing better than you think. Let's talk about it. The second trimester is often a period of greater physical comfort, but emotional ups and downs are completely normal and part of the hormonal. The second trimester is often described as the honeymoon phase of pregnancy, and for many people, there is truth in that description. Nausea may ease, energy can return, and daily life starts to feel a little more manageable. This shift can feel like a relief after the intensity of the first trimester, bringing a sense of physical stability that allows you to breathe again. At the same time, emotional changes don't simply disappear when physical symptoms improve. Hormones are still fluctuating, your body is still adapting, and your life is still undergoing a major transition. Feeling emotionally sensitive, overwhelmed, or unexpectedly tearful during this stage is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a reflection of how much change is happening internally. Many pregnant people feel confused when they start to feel better physically, but still emotionally unsettled. There can be pressure to feel grateful, calm, and happy all the time, simply because the second trimester is supposed to be easy. In reality, emotional complexity is completely normal and does not cancel out the positive aspects of this phase. Understanding that emotional ups and downs are part of a healthy pregnancy experience can be deeply reassuring. When you recognize that these feelings are expected and temporary, it becomes easier to meet yourself with compassion instead of judgment. Hormones play a powerful role throughout pregnancy, and during the second trimester, they continue to influence mood, stress levels, and emotional responses. Even when your body feels more stable, your brain is constantly processing new responsibility, expectations, and unknowns about the future. This combination can create emotional waves that feel sudden or intense. You may notice moments where small challenges feel disproportionately overwhelming. Tasks that once seemed simple, making decisions, planning ahead, or even responding to questions suddenly feel heavy. This doesn't mean you're losing control. It means your nervous system is adapting to a major life shift. It's also common to feel emotionally vulnerable without a clear reason. Some days may feel light and hopeful, while others feel heavy or confused. These emotional shifts are not failures of resilience. They are signs that your body and mind are actively adjusting to pregnancy. Giving yourself permission to experience this emotional range without trying to fix it right away can reduce stress. Sometimes, the most supportive response is simply acknowledging that what you're feeling makes sense. One of the most comforting realizations during the second trimester is that emotional fluctuations do not mean something bad is coming. Many pregnant people worry that feeling anxious or emotional is a sign of future complications, but in most cases, it is simply a normal response to change. Pregnancy invites constant adaptation, physically, mentally, and emotionally. As your body grows and your baby develops, your sense of identity may also shift. You may start thinking differently about your relationship or your future, which naturally brings emotional process. These emotional experiences often come in waves rather than staying constant. A difficult day does not define the entire trimester, just as a calm day does not guarantee the next one will feel the same. Emotional variability is a natural rhythm, not a warning sign. When you stop interpreting every emotional shift as a problem, you create space for self-trust. Trusting that your body and mind know how to adjust can bring a sense of calm, even on harder days. It's important to remember that emotional well-being during pregnancy is not about eliminating stress or discomfort entirely. Instead, it's about learning how to move through emotions without feeling overwhelmed by them. The second trimester offers an opportunity to practice this gentle awareness. Many people find that simply naming their emotions helps reduce their intensity. Saying, "I feel overwhelmed today," or "I feel sensitive right now," creates clarity and reduces internal tension. These feelings don't need justification. They simply need acknowledgement. Support from a partner, friend, or trusted person can also make a meaningful difference. Sharing how you feel, even when it seems irrational, can help you feel less isolated. Pregnancy is not meant to be navigated alone, emotionally or physically. When emotional ups and downs are met with understanding instead of resistance, they often pass more smoothly. This emotional flexibility becomes a valuable skill not only during pregnancy, but beyond it. The second trimester often brings moments of confidence alongside moments of doubt. You may feel capable and grounded one day, then uncertain or fragile the next. Both experiences are valid and can exist together without contradiction. These emotional contrasts reflect the reality that pregnancy is not a linear journey. Growth happens in layers, and emotional responses evolve as new milestones approach. Feeling uncertain does not mean you are unprepared, means you care deeply. Rather than trying to maintain a constant emotional state, it can be helpful to focus on emotional safety. This means creating small routines or comforts that help you feel grounded, such as rest, gentle movement, or quiet moments alone. By prioritizing emotional safety over emotional perfection, you allow yourself to move through pregnancy with more ease and self-compassion. Many people entering the second trimester expect emotional stability to arrive automatically once physical symptoms improve. When that doesn't happen, disappointment or confusion can follow. Reframing expectations can be a powerful step toward peace. Instead of expecting emotions to settle completely, it can be more realistic to expect emotional awareness to grow. This stage offers a chance to better understand how your body communicates stress, fatigue, or emotional overload. Learning to respond to emotional cues early, such as resting when overwhelmed or seeking reassurance when anxious, can prevent emotions from escalating. This responsiveness builds confidence in your ability to care for yourself. Emotional self-trust develops gradually, and the second trimester provides space to strengthen it without urgency. Pregnancy emotions are often shaped by external pressures as much as internal change. Expectations from society, family, or even yourself can create emotional tension. The idea that you should feel a certain way at a certain stage can be emotionally limiting. Letting go of rigid expectations allows pregnancy to unfold more naturally. There is no universal emotional timeline, and your experience does not need to match anyone else's to be valid. When you honor your own emotional rhythm, you reduce unnecessary stress. This respect for your inner experience supports both emotional and physical well-being. Your pregnancy is unique, and so is the emotional landscape that comes with it. Emotional ups and downs can also serve a purpose. They often signal moments where rest, reassurance, or adjustment is needed. Instead of viewing emotions as disruption, they can be seen as information. Listening to emotional signals helps you make choices that support your well-being. This might mean slowing down, asking for help, or setting boundaries when needed. Over time, responding kindly to emotional cues strengthens your sense of control and calm. You begin to trust that you can navigate emotional shifts without being consumed by them. This trust becomes a quiet source of confidence as pregnancy continues. As the second trimester progresses, many people notice emotional patterns becoming more familiar. While emotions may still fluctuate, they often feel less alarming once recognized as normal. This familiarity can reduce fear and increase emotional resilience. Knowing that a hard moment will pass makes it easier to stay present without panic. Each emotional experience adds to your understanding of yourself during pregnancy. This growing self-awareness supports emotional balance and adaptability. With time, emotional ups and downs become less about disruption and more about gentle adjustment. The second trimester is not about achieving emotional calm at all times. It's about learning how to coexist with change. Emotional shifts are not obstacles. They are part of the transformation happening within you. By accepting emotional variability as normal, you reduce pressure and increase. Pregnancy becomes less about controlling every feeling and more about responding with care. This mindset creates emotional space for growth, connection, and self-compassion. It allows you to move forward with confidence, even when emotions feel unpredictable. Ultimate, emotional ups and downs are not signs of weakness. They are signs of deep adaptation and strength. You don't need to have everything figured out at once. Pregnancy unfolds step by step, and learning as you go is not only okay, it's healthy. Pregnancy often comes with an unspoken expectation that you should be prepared for everything ahead of time. From baby gear to birth plans to parenting philosophy, it can feel like you're supposed to know it all early on. In reality, pregnancy is not a test of preparedness. It is a process of gradual learning. The second trimester is a stage where many people begin to realize that it's impossible to anticipate every detail. New questions appear as your body changes, your baby grows, and your awareness deepens. This is not a failure of planning, but a natural response to an evolving experience. Learning as you go allows your decisions to be informed by real needs instead of fear-based assumptions. What felt urgent in the first trimester may no longer matter, while new priorities may emerge naturally. This flexibility is a strength, not a weakness. When you release the pressure to have everything figured out immediately, pregnancy becomes less overwhelming and more manageable. Growth happens one step at a time, just like your baby's development. Many pregnant people feel anxiety when they realize how much they don't yet know. This uncertainty can create stress, especially in a culture that values control and constant preparation. However, pregnancy is not meant to be mastered all at once. Each trimester brings new information, sensations, and insights. Trying to solve third trimester challenges during the second trimester often creates unnecessary worry. Your body and mind are designed to adapt progressively, not all at once. Allowing yourself to learn in stages helps protect your emotional well-being. It gives you permission to focus on what matters now, instead of everything that might happen later. This present-focused mindset reduces mental overload. Trusting the timing of your learning process can bring a sense of calm. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment of your pregnancy. Pregnancy naturally encourages a shift away from perfection. You may realize that having incomplete plans or unanswered questions does not prevent progress. In fact, it often allows for better decisions later on. As your pregnancy unfolds, your preferences may change. What you thought you wanted early on may no longer feel right, and that's okay. Growth brings clarity over time, not instant. This evolving understanding is part of becoming a parent. Parenthood begins with adaptability, not certainty. Learning to adjust expectations during pregnancy lays a strong foundation for what comes next. By embracing the learning process, you create space for confidence to grow naturally instead of being forced prematurely. It's common to compare your progress to others, what they've bought, planned, or decided. These comparisons can create pressure to catch up or make decisions before you're ready. Every pregnancy follows its own rhythm. What feels essential to one person may not feel important to another. Your timeline does not need to match anyone else's to be valid. What matters most is that your choices align with your comfort and value. Letting go of comparison allows you to tune into your own needs. This awareness helps you make decisions that truly support you instead of meeting external expectations. Pregnancy becomes more peaceful when you trust your own pace. The idea that you must prepare everything early can create unnecessary stress. In reality, many things can wait until they are truly needed. Pregnancy offers time, and that time unfolds gradually. Learning through experience often provides more clarity than researching endlessly. As your body changes, you gain first-hand understanding of what supports you best. This lived knowledge is valuable. Small, timely adjustments are often more effective than large, premature decisions. Responding to needs as they arise keeps you grounded in the present. This step-by-step approach helps pregnancy feel more approachable and less overwhelming. Uncertainty during pregnancy does not mean you are unprepared. Means you are human. No one enters pregnancy knowing everything, and no one needs to. Learning is part of the process. Each question you encounter is an opportunity for growth, not a sign of deficiency. Curiosity and openness allow knowledge to build naturally over time. When you trust yourself to learn along the way, anxiety often decreases. You begin to feel capable of handling new information as it comes. Confidence grows from experience, not from having all the answers in advance. Pregnancy teaches patience in unexpected ways. Waiting to learn, decide, or prepare can feel uncomfortable, especially when uncertainty is present. Yet patience creates emotional resilience. Allowing things to unfold gradually helps you stay connected to your body's signal. These signals often guide you toward what you truly need, both physically and emotionally. Rushing decisions can disconnect you from this inner guidance. Slowing down allows clarity to emerge naturally. This patience becomes a valuable skill as pregnancy continues and beyond. Learning as you go also allows room for grace. You may change your mind, adjust plans, or let go of expectations, and that flexibility is healthy. Growth rarely follows a straight line. Pregnancy invites experimentation rather than perfection. You try what works, release what doesn't, and adapt along the way. This process builds trust in yourself. Mistakes or changes are not setbacks. They are part of learning. Each adjustment brings deeper understanding. This gentle approach supports emotional balance throughout pregnancy. As weeks pass, you may notice that uncertainty feels less intimidating. What once felt overwhelming becomes familiar simply through experience. Learning accumulates quietly. This gradual accumulation builds confidence without pressure. You begin to realize that you are capable of handling what comes next, even if you don't know everything yet. Trust grows from seeing yourself adapt successfully time and time again. Each small step reinforces self-belief. Pregnancy becomes less about control and more about trust. You do not need to have pregnancy, birth, or parenting fully planned to be doing it well. Showing up, learning, and adapting is enough. Growth happens through experience. By allowing pregnancy to unfold step by step, you protect your mental and emotional well-being. You make room for understanding to grow naturally. This mindset reduces fear and increases confidence. You learn to trust both the process and yourself. Pregnancy is not about knowing everything. It's about becoming one moment at a time. Small self-care choices, like comfortable underwear, hydration, or a supportive pillow, can make a big difference in how you feel day to day. Self-care during pregnancy is often misunderstood as something elaborate or indulgent, when in reality, it is usually made up of very small, practical choices. Simple comforts can significantly influence how you feel physically and emotionally throughout the day. These small adjustments support your body as it changes. Comfortable underwear, for example, may seem like a minor detail, but it can affect how you experience your body. As your shape shifts, clothing that fits well can reduce irritation and increase confidence. Feeling physically comfortable often translates into emotional. Pregnancy invites a redefinition of comfort. What once felt optional may become essential, and responding to these needs is a form of respect for your body. Comfort is not about appearance, it's about support. When you prioritize small comfort, you send yourself a message that your well-being matters. This mindset builds a foundation of care that supports you throughout pregnancy. Hydration is another simple but powerful form of self-care. Drinking enough water supports circulation, digestion, and overall physical comfort. It can also influence how your skin feels as it stretches and adapts. Staying hydrated often improves energy levels and helps prevent common discomforts. Even mild dehydration can contribute to fatigue or headaches, which can feel more intense during pregnancy. Making hydration easier by keeping water nearby or choosing water you enjoy drinking make a meaningful difference. These small habits reduce strain on your body. Consistent hydration is not about perfection, it's about steady support. Each small effort adds up over time. Supportive sleep tools, such as pregnancy pillows, are another example of how small changes can bring significant relief. Sleep becomes more challenging as pregnancy progresses, and proper support can improve rest quality. A pillow that supports your body helps reduce pressure on your back, hips, and shoulders. Better sleep contributes to improved mood, energy, and emotional balance during the day. Although these tools may feel unnecessary at first, many people are surprised by how much relief they bring. Comfort during rest supports recovery and resilience. Good sleep is not a luxury during pregnancy. It is a vital part of self-care. Self-care choices often work together rather than in isolation. Comfortable clothing, hydration, and rest all support one another. When one area improves, others often follow. For example, better sleep may lead to improved energy, which can make daily activities feel easier. Hydration can support physical comfort, making movement more pleasant. These small improvements reduce overall strain on your body and mind. Pregnancy becomes less exhausting when basic needs are met consistently. Self-care doesn't require dramatic changes, just thoughtful attention to everyday comfort. It's easy to overlook small discomforts and push through them, especially if they seem insignificant. However, ignoring these signals can lead to accumulated stress. Pregnancy encourages listening earlier rather than later. Responding to small needs prevents discomfort from becoming overwhelming. Choosing comfort proactively supports physical well-being and emotional calm. These choices also foster body awareness. You learn to recognize what helps and what doesn't, building confidence in your self-care decision. This awareness becomes an important skill as pregnancy continues. Self-care during pregnancy does not need to be expensive or complicated. Many effective comforts are simple and accessible. What matters most is consistency. A routine that includes hydration, comfortable clothing, and supportive rest creates stability. This stability supports both physical comfort and emotional balance. Over time, these habits become second nature. They reduce daily strain and help you feel more grounded in your body. Consistency in small self-care choices builds lasting benefit. Comfort also has an emotional component. Feeling supported physically often reduces irritability and emotional overwhelm. The body and mind are deeply connected during pregnancy. When your body feels cared for, emotional resilience, you may find it easier to manage stress or uncertainty. These small acts of care reinforce a sense of safety. They remind you that your needs are being met. Emotional calm often begins with physical comfort. Self-care is not about fixing pregnancy discomfort. Completely is about some sensations are unavoidable, but support can make them more manageable. Accepting that comfort can be improved, even if not perfected, reduces frustration. Small improvements still matter. These choices allow you to move through pregnancy with greater ease. You adapt rather than resist. This gentle approach supports long-term well-being. As pregnancy progresses, your self-care needs may change. What worked earlier may need adjustment, and that's normal. Flexibility is key. Staying attentive to your body helps you respond effectively. You learn to update your care as your needs evolve. This adaptability builds trust in your ability to support yourself. Each adjustment reinforces confidence. Self-care becomes a dynamic, responsive practice. Small self-care choices may seem insignificant individually, but together they create meaningful support. They shape how you experience pregnancy day by day. By prioritizing comfort, hydration, and rest, you nurture both body and mind. These acts of care are foundational, not optional. Pregnancy becomes more manageable when basic needs are met consistently. Ease replaces unnecessary strain. Caring for yourself in small ways is one of the most powerful tools you have during pregnancy. Your body is changing in many places at once, and caring for it with kindness through rest, moisturizers, and comfort is an act of not vanity. Pregnancy brings changes that happen gradually but simultaneously across the entire body. While the growing belly is the most visible transformation, many other areas are also adapting behind the scenes. Skin stretches, circulation and tissues soften to support growth. These changes can feel unfamiliar and sometimes surprising. You may notice sensations or visual differences in places you didn't expect. This is a normal part of the body preparing to nurture new life. Caring for your body during this time is not about appearance. It is about support. Gentle attention helps your body adjust with less discomfort. Kindness toward your changing body builds trust and emotional ease during pregnancy. Skincare during pregnancy often becomes more important as stretching increases. Moisturizers can help reduce dryness, itching, and irritation as the skin adapts. Applying them regularly supports comfort rather than perfection. It's common to wonder where care is needed most. Since changes occur in multiple areas, offering gentle care broadly can feel reassuring. This process is not about preventing every mark or change. It's about maintaining comfort and honoring what your body is doing. Caring for your skin becomes a daily reminder that your body deserves patience and respect. Rest is another essential form of kindness toward your body. Pregnancy places increased demands on energy, even when you feel relative. Listening to fatigue signals is a form of wisdom, not weakness. Allowing yourself to rest supports physical recovery and emotional balance. Pushing through exhaustion often leads to increased comfort or stress. Rest does not mean inactivity. It means responsive. Adjusting your pace helps your body function more smoothly. Honoring rest strengthens your connection to your body's needs. Comfort during pregnancy is deeply connected to self-respect. Choosing clothing, support tools, or routine that ease strain acknowledges that your body is working hard. These choices can reduce physical tension and emotional frustration. Comfort allows you to focus on connection rather than discomfort. Rejecting the idea that care is indulgent helps remove unnecessary guilt. Pregnancy requires support, not endurance. Respecting your comfort is an essential part of caring for your health. Body changes can sometimes trigger self-judgment, especially in a culture that emphasizes control over appearance. Pregnancy challenges this mindset by prioritizing function over form. Your body is adapting with intelligence. Each change supports growth and preparation. Responding with kindness instead of criticism reduces emotional stress. Acceptance allows the process to feel more natural. Pregnancy invites a shift toward appreciation rather than evaluation. Gentle routines help create consistency during a time of daily care, even when simple, provides a sense of stability. These routines offer moments of pause and awareness. They remind you to check in with your body regularly. Consistency reduces tension by making care predictable. This predictability supports emotional calm. Routine care becomes an anchor amid ongoing change. Kindness toward your body also includes releasing unrealistic expectations. Pregnancy bodies are not meant to look or feel a certain way. Comparisons can increase dissatisfaction, while self-acceptance supports. Every pregnancy unfolds differently. When you let go of comparison, you create space for compassion. Compassion supports resilience. Your experience is valid exactly as it is. Physical care influences emotional well-being more than we often realize. When your body feels supported, emotional stress often decreases. Comfort reduces the mental load associated with discomfort. This frees energy for connection and rest. Caring for your body creates a feedback loop of calm and trust. Each supportive action reinforces the next. Well-being grows from consistent kindness. As pregnancy progresses, your relationship with your body may deepen. Responding kindly builds trust and appreciation. You learn that your body communicates needs clearly when you listen. This communication strengthens self-confidence. Trust grows with each supportive choice. You begin to rely on your body rather than resist it. This trust supports both pregnancy and postpartum recovery. Caring for your changing body is an act of respect, not vanity. It honors the work your body is doing every day. Kindness, rest, and comfort support both physical and emotional health. These practices reduce unnecessary strain. Pregnancy becomes more manageable when care replaces judgment. Compassion allows growth to unfold naturally. Your body deserves patience, appreciation, and gentle support throughout this journey. Mental health matters just as much as physical health during pregnancy, and tools like meditation or guided relaxation can bring calm to a busy, racing mind. Pregnancy places demands not only on the body, but also on the mind. Thoughts about the baby, the future, and daily responsibilities often overlap, creating mental noise that can feel constant. This mental activity is a natural response to, not a sign of weakness. During the second trimester, physical symptoms may ease, but mental stimulation often increases. With more energy comes more thinking, planning, and worrying. This can leave the mind feeling overstimulated, even when the body feels relatively well. Recognizing mental health as a core part of pregnancy care is essential. Emotional balance and mental calm directly influence how supported and capable. Caring for your mind is not optional during pregnancy. It is foundational to overall well-being. A racing mind can make even simple days feel exhausting. Thoughts may jump from task to task without rest, creating a sense of urgency that doesn't always reflect reality. This mental pressure can quietly drain energy. Guided relaxation, such as meditation, provide structure for mental rest. They offer a pause from constant thinking and invite the mind into a calmer state. Even short periods of guided calm can reset the nervous system. This reset helps reduce stress and improve emotional clarity. Mental stillness does not require silence, it requires intention and support. Meditation during pregnancy is not about emptying the mind completely. It is about creating space between thoughts and reaction. This space allows emotions to move through without overwhelming you. Guided practices are especially helpful because they reduce the effort required to relax. Instead of figuring out how to calm down, you are gently led there. This guidance can feel grounding during moments of anxiety or emotional overload. It offers reassurance and direction when your mind feels scattered. Mental support tools help you feel less alone inside your own thoughts. Consistency matters more than duration when it comes to mental. A few minutes of intentional relaxation practiced regularly can have a greater impact than occasional long sessions. These small moments of calm accumulate over time. They help train your nervous system to return to balance more easily. As mental resilience builds, stress feels less. You begin to trust your ability to regulate emotion. This steady practice supports emotional stability throughout pregnancy. Mental health tools also help you respond differently to stress. Instead of reacting immediately, you learn to pause and observe what you're feeling. This pause creates choice. You can respond with care rather than urgency or frustration. Pregnancy naturally brings emotional intensity, and having tools to manage that intensity is empowering. You feel more in control of your internal experience. Emotional regulation becomes a skill developed gradually, not instant. Relaxation practices can also improve sleep quality. A calmer mind at night supports deeper rest, which is essential during pregnancy. When mental tension decreases, physical relaxation often follows. This connection enhances overall comfort. Better sleep contributes to improved mood and energy levels during the day. Mental care supports physical recovery. Restful sleep becomes more accessible when the mind feels supported. Mental well-being also affects how you experience uncertainty. Pregnancy is full of unknowns, and a calm mind helps you tolerate ambiguity. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by unanswered questions, you learn to coexist with. This acceptance reduces anxiety. Mental tools help shift focus from fear to present. You learn to stay grounded in what is happening now. Presence brings peace even when the future feels unclear. Taking care of your mental health also strengthens emotional connection. You may feel more connected to your body, your baby, and your support system. When the mind is calmer, awareness expands. You notice small moments of reassurance and gratitude. These moments create emotional balance. They counteract stress and build resilience. Mental care enhances the emotional richness of pregnancy. Over time, mental health practices become familiar and comforting. What once felt unfamiliar becomes a trusted resource. You begin to recognize when your mind needs rest. This awareness allows you to respond proactively. Confidence grows from knowing you have tools to manage stress. This confidence carries forward into later stages of pregnancy. Mental resilience develops quietly through repetition. Mental health deserves the same attention as physical health during pregnancy. Both work together to support overall well-being. Guided relaxation and meditation are not luxury. They are practical tools for navigating change. They bring calm to busy minds. By caring for your mental state, you protect your emotional energy. This protection supports both you and your baby. A calm mind creates space for confidence, connection, and peace throughout pregnancy. Not every sensation needs to be feared or overanalyzed. Learning when to trust your body and limit excessive Googling can reduce unnecessary anxiety. Pregnancy introduces many new sensations, and not all of them come with clear explanations at first. Twinges, pressure, stretching, and unfamiliar movements can easily trigger concern, especially when everything feels new. This reaction is understandable and very common. The challenge arises when every sensation is treated as a potential problem. Constant vigilance can turn normal bodily changes to sources of fear. Over time, this can increase anxiety rather than provide reassurance. Learning to pause before reacting helps create emotional balance. Not every feeling requires immediate investigation or interpretation. Trust begins with recognizing that the pregnant body is designed to change in complex but purposeful. Excessive Googling often amplifies fear instead of reducing it. Online searches tend to highlight worst-case scenarios, even when symptoms are common and harmless. This information overload can quickly become overwhelming. When every question leads to alarming possibilities, anxiety increases. The mind struggles to filter what is relevant from what is unlikely. Limiting online searches protects mental well-being. It allows space for calm observation instead of constant. Reliable information is helpful, but endless searching often creates more stress than clarity. Trusting your body does not mean ignoring important signals. It means learning to distinguish between normal changes and signs that truly require medical attention. This discernment develops with time and experience. As you progress through pregnancy, familiar sensations become easier to recognize. Confidence grows when you see your body adapt successfully again and again. This builds reassurance naturally. Trust is built through experience, not through constant reassurance. Healthcare providers play an important role in helping you interpret symptoms. Having trusted professionals to consult reduces the need for constant self-diagnosis. Asking questions during appointments and noting what is considered normal can bring clarity. This knowledge replaces fear with understanding. When you rely on professional guidance instead of random information, anxiety often decreases. Supportive care helps you feel grounded and informed. Pregnancy encourages a shift from control to awareness. Instead of trying to predict every outcome, you learn to observe and respond. Awareness allows you to notice patterns without panic. You begin to recognize what feels typical for your body. This awareness supports emotional regulation. You feel less reactive and more steady. Calm observation often brings more peace than constant analysis. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty, and pregnancy naturally includes unknown. Learning to tolerate some uncertainty reduces mental stress. Not every question needs an immediate answer. Some clarity comes only with time. Allowing questions to exist without urgent resolution creates emotional space. This space supports calm. Peace grows when you accept that uncertainty is part of the process. Limiting information intake can feel uncomfortable at first. Letting go of constant checking requires trust. Over time, this trust becomes empowering. You realize you can navigate sensations without immediate external validation. Your body communicates clearly when something truly needs attention. Learning this language builds confidence. Trust replaces fear gradually, not all at once. Reducing unnecessary anxiety allows you to be more present. Instead of worrying about every sensation, you can focus on daily life. Presence brings emotional. It allows moments of calm and connection. When fear decreases, enjoyment often increases. Pregnancy feels less stressful. Presence supports emotional well-being throughout pregnancy. As pregnancy continues, many sensations become familiar. What once felt alarming becomes routine. This familiarity reduces fear naturally. Experience replaces uncertainty. You learn to respond calmly and appropriately when new sensations appear. Confidence grows quietly through repeated reassurance. Not every sensation requires fear or analysis. Learning when to trust your body protects emotional health. Limiting excessive Googling reduces unnecessary anxiety. Calm replaces constant worry. Pregnancy becomes more manageable when trust guides your responses. Trust allows you to move forward with confidence and peace. Feeling emotional, overwhelmed, or even irrational at times does not mean something is wrong. It means your body and mind are adapting to profound changes. Pregnancy often brings emotions that feel stronger, faster, or harder to control than usual. You may find yourself reacting intensely to situations that once felt manageable. This emotional sensitivity can feel confusing, especially when it appears suddenly. These emotional shifts are not signs of instability. They are part of the body and mind, adjusting to major hormonal, physical, and psychological change. Adaptation is not quiet, it is active. When emotions feel amplified, it does not mean you are losing control. It means your system is working to recalibrate. Understanding this reframes emotional overwhelm as a natural response, not a problem. Many pregnant people worry that feeling emotional means something is wrong with them. This belief often adds unnecessary guilt or self-criticism. In reality, emotional variability is expected during pregnancy. Hormonal changes influence how emotions are processed and expressed. At the same time, the mind is adjusting to new responsibilities and uncertainty. These layers of change naturally create emotional intensity. Feeling overwhelmed does not indicate weakness. It indicates that meaningful transformation in place. Emotional responses during pregnancy are often disproportionate situations. A small inconvenience may feel huge, while a minor delay can feel unbearable. This mismatch between cause and reaction can be unsettling. However, it reflects heightened emotional sensitivity rather than a loss of perspective. Recognizing this helps reduce self-judgment. You are not overreacting, you are responding through a changing system. Compassion toward yourself helps emotions settle more easily. Emotional overwhelm often comes in waves. You may feel calm and capable one moment, then suddenly flooded the next. This unpredictability can feel frustrating. These waves are part of adaptation as your body and mind adjust. Emotional regulation is temporarily altered. Instead of resisting these moments, allowing them to pass can reduce their intensity. Emotions often peak and fade when acknowledged. Acceptance creates space for emotional balance to return. Support from others can make emotional moments feel more manageable. Being understood reduces isolation and emotional pressure. Sharing feelings without needing to justify them helps normalize the experience. Pregnancy emotions do not need to make sense to be valid. When support is present, emotional overwhelm often softens. You feel less alone with what you're experiencing. Connection acts as a stabilizing force during emotional shifts. It's important to separate emotions from identity. Feeling emotional does not define who you are. Pregnancy temporarily amplifies emotional expression, but it does not change your core self. These feelings are states, not traits. Reminding yourself of this reduces fear around emotional experience. They are temporary and situational. Perspective helps emotions feel less consuming. Emotional moments can also offer insight. They often highlight unmet needs, such as rest, reassurance, or support. Listening to what emotions are signaling helps guide self-care. Overwhelm may indicate a need to slow down. Responding to emotional cues builds trust. You learn to meet needs before stress. Emotions become informative rather than disruptive. Allowing yourself to feel emotions without immediately fixing them reduces pressure. Not every feeling requires action. Sometimes, simply acknowledging "this is hard right now" is enough. Validation reduces emotional intensity. This gentle approach supports emotional regulation. Emotions pass more smoothly when they are not resisted. Kindness toward emotional experiences builds resilience. Over time, emotional patterns become more familiar. What once felt alarming begins to feel manageable. Experience builds confidence. You learn that emotional waves pass and balance returns. This understanding reduces fear of future emotional moments. You trust your ability to cope. Confidence grows through lived experience. Feeling emotional, overwhelmed, or irrational during pregnancy does not mean something is wrong. It means adaptation is happening. Your body and mind are adjusting to profound change. This process naturally affects emotion. When met with compassion, these feelings become easier to navigate. They lose their power to overwhelm. Pregnancy emotions are not a failure. They are a sign of deep transformation. Baby movements may feel strange, unexpected, or hard to describe at first, but they often become reassuring signs of connection as pregnancy progresses. Feeling your baby move for the first time is one of the most surprising moments of pregnancy. These early sensations rarely feel the way people imagine. Instead of clear kicks, they may feel like gentle pops, bubbles, pressure, or unfamiliar internal shifts. Because these sensations are new, it can be difficult to identify them right away. Many pregnant people question whether what they felt was movement or something else entirely. This uncertainty is completely normal. Early movements often come and go unpredictable. They may appear one day and disappear the next. which can feel confusing. With time and repetition, these sensations become easier to recognize and trust. Baby movements don't follow a universal pattern. Placenta position, body awareness, and individual sensitivity all influence how and when movement. Some people feel movement earlier, while others feel it later. Neither experience is better or more correct. Each body perceives movement differently. Comparing your experience to others can create unnecessary worry. What matters is your own pattern over time. Trust develops as movements gradually become more familiar to you. As pregnancy progresses, movements often become stronger and more distinct. What once felt subtle may begin to feel more intentional and rhythmic. This progression helps build confidence. You begin to recognize your baby's activity patterns and responses. Movement becomes a form of communication. It reassures you that your baby is active and growing. This growing familiarity strengthens emotional connection. Early baby movements can sometimes be mistaken for digestive. This overlap is common and not a cause for concern. Over time, the difference becomes clearer. You begin to notice how baby movement feels distinct from other sensations. This clarity reduces doubt and anxiety. Recognition replaces uncertainty. Understanding these differences builds trust in your perception. Baby movements often feel more noticeable during moments of rest. When your body is still, awareness. This is why movement is often felt more clearly at night or when lying down. Quiet moments allow subtle sensations to stand out. Recognizing this pattern can be reassuring. It explains why movement may seem inconsistent during busy days. Awareness grows when the body is calm. As movements become more consistent, they often bring comfort. Feeling your baby move can reduce anxiety and increase reassurance. These sensations create a tangible sense of connection. You are reminded that your baby is present and active. This connection can be deeply emotional. Movement becomes more than a physical sensation. It becomes a moment of bonding. It's normal for movement patterns to change day to day. Activity levels can vary without signaling a problem. Understanding this variability helps prevent unnecessary worry. Patterns matter more than isolated. Over time, you learn what feels typical for your baby. This familiarity builds confidence. Confidence replaces constant checking. Baby movements also help anchor you in the present. They shift focus from abstract worries to physical connection. This presence can be calming. It brings attention back to your body and your baby. Moments of movement often interrupt anxious thought patterns. They ground you. Connection grows through awareness. As weeks pass, movements often become something you look forward to. They provide reassurance throughout the day. What once felt strange becomes familiar and comfort. Fear gives way to curiosity and connection. These sensations mark pregnancy progress in a tangible way. They remind you of ongoing growth. Movement becomes a source of emotional stability. Baby movements may feel confusing at first, but they often become one of the most reassuring aspects of pregnancy. With time, recognition replaces doubt. Sensations become meaningful signals of connection. Trust grows as you learn your baby's patterns. Confidence follows naturally. Movement transforms from uncertainty into reassurance as pregnancy progresses. There is no single right way to prepare for birth. Educating yourself through positive, evidence-based stories can help replace fear with confidence. Preparing for birth often comes with the expectation that there is a correct method or a perfect plan. This belief can create pressure to choose the right approach and fear of choosing the wrong one. In reality, birth preparation is highly personal and varies from one individual to another. Each pregnancy, body, and birth experience is different. What feels empowering to one person may feel overwhelming to another. This diversity does not reflect a lack of preparation. It reflects individuality. Understanding that there is no universal path allows you to explore options without fear. Preparation becomes an act of curiosity rather than obligation. Confidence grows when preparation is flexible instead of rigid. Fear around birth often comes from the unknown. Stories focused only on emergencies or pain can create anxiety that overshadows realistic expectations. Balancing information with positive, evidence-based experiences provides perspective. These stories show that birth can unfold in many ways and still be safe and meaningful. Exposure to empowering narratives narratives helps reduce fear-based assumptions. It replaces catastrophic thinking with understanding. Knowledge grounded in evidence brings reassurance rather than alarm. Education does not mean memorizing every possible scenario. It means understanding the process well enough to feel informed and supported. Learning about birth physiology, coping strategies, and common variations builds trust in your body's capabilities. This trust reduces fear. When information is presented calmly and realistic, it strengthens confidence. It allows you to approach birth with openness. Preparation becomes about readiness, not control. Visualization and mental preparation can play a powerful role in reducing fear. Imagining calm, supported scenarios helps condition the nervous system. These practices do not guarantee specific outcome, but they help you feel emotionally prepared. Emotional readiness matters as much as physical readiness. Positive mental imagery supports relaxation and focus. It counters fear-driven narratives. The mind influences how experiences are perceived. Birth plans can be helpful when they are flexible. Viewing them as guides rather than fixed scripts reduces disappointment. Flexibility allows you to adapt to real-time needs. It supports collaboration with your care team. When expectations are adjustable, stress decreases. You feel prepared even when plans change. Confidence comes from adaptability, not perfection. Fear often diminishes when you understand your options. Knowing what choices are available helps you feel empowered. Education gives you language to communicate preferences and ask questions. This communication builds trust with providers. Feeling heard and informed reduces anxiety. It replaces fear, participation. Empowerment grows through understanding. Positive, evidence-based education also helps set realistic expectations. Birth is rarely predictable, but it is often manageable. Understanding variability helps reduce shock or disappointment. You feel prepared for a range of outcomes. This realism supports emotional resilience. It allows you to stay grounded if plans. Preparedness includes emotional flexibility. Confidence in birth preparation is not about eliminating fear completely. It's about reducing fear enough to feel capable. Some uncertainty will always exist. Education helps you face it with steadiness rather than panic. When fear is balanced by understanding, confidence emerges naturally. Calm replaces dread through knowledge. As you learn more, fear often gives way to curiosity. Questions become opportunities for clarity rather than sources of anxiety. This shift changes how you relate to birth. It becomes something you can engage with rather than fear. Confidence builds gradually through exposure to supportive information. Understanding fosters trust. There is no single right way to prepare for birth. Preparation is personal, flexible, and evolving. Positive, evidence-based education replaces fear with confidence. It supports informed decision-making. When fear is reduced, presence increases. You feel more capable and grounded. Confidence grows when preparation honors both knowledge and individuality. Pregnancy doesn't need to be perfect or fully organized to be meaningful. It's okay if things feel messy, unfinished, or overwhelming. Growth happens anyway. Pregnancy is often portrayed as a time of perfect planning and emotional clarity. In reality, it is frequently messy, unpredictable, and unfinished. This contrast can create pressure to meet an ideal that doesn't reflect real life. Many pregnant people worry when they feel behind or unorganized. These feelings are common and do not indicate failure. They reflect the reality of adapting to ongoing change. Meaning does not come from perfection. It comes from showing up and responding as best you can in each moment. Growth happens even when things feel unfinished. Tasks can feel heavier during pregnancy. The mental load of remembering what still needs to be done can create stress. However, incomplete does not mean unprepared. Pregnancy unfolds over time, allowing space for gradual progress. Releasing urgency reduces anxiety. Not everything needs to be resolved immediately. Patience creates room for calm. Mesensis is often a sign of transition. When life is changing, structure temporarily loosens. This loosening allows new patterns. Pregnancy is a period of reorganization, not disorder. Allowing this process reduces of criticism. You are in the middle of becoming, not failing. Transition requires flexibility. Overwhelm often comes from unrealistic expectation. The belief that everything should feel settled can create stress. Letting go of this belief allows pregnancy to feel more humane. It becomes an experience rather than a performance. Imperfection creates space for learning. Learning supports growth. Acceptance replaces pressure. Pregnancy does not demand constant productivity. Rest and reflection are just as valuable. Slowing down supports emotional and physical health. Growth does not require constant action. When you allow yourself to, clarity often follows. Stillness supports adaptation. Feeling overwhelmed does not cancel out joy or meaning. Multiple emotions can coexist. Pregnancy includes moments of connection alongside stress. Both are part of the experience. Accepting complexity reduces guilt. You do not need to feel one way all the time. Meaning exists in the full range of emotion. Organization will come in its own time. Some things naturally fall into place later in pregnancy. Trusting this timing reduces pressure. You do not need to rush readiness. Preparation unfolds alongside growth. Timing matters more than speed. Allowing pregnancy to be imperfect creates emotional safety. You no longer need to meet an impossible standard. This safety supports mental well-being. Stress decreases when expectations soften. You begin to trust yourself more. Self-trust grows in acceptance. As pregnancy continues, what once felt chaotic often becomes clearer. Perspective shifts naturally. You realize that growth happened even during uncertainty. This realization builds confidence. Experience replaces fear. Understanding deepens over time. Pregnancy does not need perfection to be meaningful. Messy, unfinished moments still carry value. Growth happens regardless of organization. Adaptation does not wait for readiness. When pressure is released, peace becomes possible. Meaning grows quietly, even in imperfection.